What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Josh Trihane. I wanted to film this video today just for those of you that have been following along with my Tesla experience, and when I went and picked it up and you saw those videos and all that, I just wanted to do an updated video just showing you guys like the car, what I've done to it, some things that I'm loving about it, and then also I wanted to show you guys where I charge it and how I charge it and how long it takes, and also get into how much money this car is saving me a month, because it's saving me a ridiculous amount of money compared to what I was driving before. I was kind of nervous getting it at first because I thought it was like expensive and I wasn't sure if I really needed it, and I was scared to go electric. But after everything that I've gone through in the past month, I've had the car now for about 35 days or 40 days or something. I'm absolutely loving the car so much. So those of you that are considering getting a Tesla, I highly recommend it, and I want to get into some of the points of why. So the car currently has 5,600 kilometers on it, which is a lot of kilometers for being just 35 days old. I drive quite a bit and I've been on a road trip with it already. So starting with the charging, I'm gonna walk over to it and show you guys how I charge it every night. All right, so this is the charging station right here. As you guys can see, they have like the big thick cables going into these chargers. That's why it's able to charge it so much faster than inside when I'm doing it from a wall outlet. But if you guys didn't know, when you buy a Tesla, I'll plug this back in, you guys are actually gonna get one of these little adapter things right here. Not all of these charging things like this fit into a Tesla. I think it's very like universal, because they have to fit into Volkswagens and Nissans and all those other cars. When you do get a Tesla, you have to use this adapter on all of the charging stations that you end up using that are universal. You plug it in. I have to plug this little adapter in first, and then I can plug this thing right into here. So that's how I do it every night. It doesn't charge me anything. These machines are free right now. I don't know if in the future they will make people pay for it, because they have the option right here, but not sure why they don't charge people for it. I can just plug it in and leave it overnight. They have a 2-hour limit during the day, but when everybody goes home, it's kind of like a free-for-all. People from all over these places come and plug them in, but I usually know like what time to come here in order to make sure that I get a spot. But yeah, so this is the charging situation. This is where I bring it every night. I do not want to plug it in at my building because it would take hours and hours and hours. So right now I have it plugged in, and it's currently getting, let me see. It was currently getting 35 kilometers an hour. That's not super good, but it's also not really bad, like plugging it in at your house. This works for me, and I've just been doing this every single night since I got the car. And yeah, so that's my charging situation for all of you guys that have been asking. It usually takes, if I'm on 0 and I'm trying to get to 388 kilometers, it usually would take me about 6 hours to do a full charge. Not long ago, I did go on a road trip. That's part of the reason why there's so many kilometers on the car. As you guys can see right here, there is 5,656 kilometers on it. It's really cool that if you're wanting to plan a road trip, I'll show you guys actually where I ended up going and how it maps it out for you. I went to a place called Kelowna, and if I'm going from here to Kelowna, what the GPS will actually do is it'll show you along your route where all of the superchargers are. Now, I'm not sure why when I put this in, it's not showing me the supercharger that's in Hope right here, because what I did when I went on my trip is I went from here to Hope, which has a supercharger, and I charged up, and then I was able to charge back up in Merritt, and then I could make it all the way to Kelowna, which they have a supercharger in Kelowna as well. The whole trip was super easy. They put them in very like strategic places so that you never have to worry about running out of battery. For charging, I think that's all the questions that I was getting about it, and I hope that I answered them as well as I could. So as far as the outside of the car goes, I haven't made too many changes. I only made one change the other day, which is I took the front license plate off. It wasn't hard at all. It just sticks on. And as you guys can see, like, you can't even tell that there used to be one right there. I know that on some of the older models, they actually have like screws that you have to take off, and then you have to pull the bracket off. But for me, it was just like stuck on, so I just had to peel the little sticky part that was on behind it, and then once I did that, I could just rip it off. So if I want to put it back on, it's super easy, just sticks back on. But that is the only thing that I've done to the outside of the car. The only thing that I'm really considering doing right now is getting those rim protectors, because I don't really want to damage these. I might end up getting the rim protectors, and that will probably be about it. So yeah, that's the charging situation. That is what I did to the outside of the car. Now, one thing that I should really tell you guys, because when I first got the car and I was trying to set this up, it was very hard, and I thought that I had it the right way, but it actually wasn't, was when you're getting, I'll show you guys in here, when you're getting one of these USB sticks, which looks like this, or if you go and you can obviously get like different ones, but the other day I went out and bought this USB stick because I wanted to be able to look back on my Sentry mode and just like make sure that if anything was to happen in my car, that I could go back and actually see the footage and all of that. But when I bought this stick, I put it into the car and I thought that's all I had to do, and that when it's plugged in, it just records onto the stick and that was it. But that was very dumb of me to think that, because after like owning the car for a week, I pulled it out and I was trying to look at some things, because the car actually, the alarm went off one night and I was freaking out because I thought somebody was breaking in, and so I pulled the USB stick out and I went to go look at it and nothing was recorded. So then I looked fully into how to set this thing up, and it's pretty easy. It's just that you have to do it in order for it to start recording onto it. So what you do is you put this into your computer and you create a folder and call it Tesla Cam. Now it's all one word and then the capital T and a capital C. But one thing that I did wrong, which I didn't really realize, was that the card has to be formatted to a certain format. So the format is the FAT32 format. So make sure that when you plug your card in, it's formatted the right way, and you do create that folder. So now whenever I get in my car, you can actually see, you'll see a little camera icon right there. Before I was just seeing the little Sentry thing, but after you set it up correctly, you'll actually see a camera. The last thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the amount of money that I'm saving on this car every month. So yeah, I'm gonna film the rest of this video in my apartment just so that I can show you guys on my computer some different things that I took from some Visa statements and different things so that I can prove to you guys how much this actually is saving me money. So yeah. All right, so the reason that I want to film this part of this video is because before I bought my Model 3, I was online looking at so many videos on YouTube just of people talking about things that they liked about the car, showing different features of things that they didn't know were there. But then the ultimate thing that I think kind of pushed me over the edge to buy the car was the amount of savings that I could be saving every month on just not having to put gas in it. Another factor that I have to also add into this is that I looked at getting the Kona EV, which is the Hyundai. I also looked at the Hyundai Ioniq. But the one thing that kind of sold me on the Tesla was that I could do the updates like over the air while it's in the parking lot. The Tesla could potentially get new features next year or have the full self-driving and all of that. So those are the two main reasons why I ended up getting the Model 3. Now, if you guys didn't know, I'm gonna get into kind of how much I was actually spending on the car that I had before versus what I'm spending now on the Model 3. So the car that I was driving before my Model 3 was a 2012 Jeep Wrangler, 4-door. It had big tires on it, had a lift on it, and every month it was costing me a fortune to put gas in it. Now, if you guys are living in Vancouver or you're living anywhere right now that's close to Vancouver, gas prices are actually unreal. So the Jeep had a 72-liter tank, which meant that if I went to go fill it up, it would cost me around $115 to $120 to fill it every time. And I calculated it at the end of last year, and for the entire year of 2018, I spent $4,800 on gas alone. So that was roughly around $400 a month just on gas. So in May, the amount of money that I spent on gas was around $437. All right, so now for the fun part, because comparing June and May literally put a smile on my face, because in May, when I spent $437 on gas, and then I compared it to when I got my Model 3, which now it's been 30 days and I've spent $28.44. And the reason that you guys see on the screen right here a bunch of zeros, and then you see at the bottom there's some payments that I made, was because those were the first couple days before my referral code for my Tesla actually got put on there. So I had to pay for the supercharging. And then at the end of the day, I plugged my car in across the street, which doesn't cost me anything. It's basically like a complimentary service that's in this parkade. So yeah, that's why getting this car made a lot of sense to me. If I'm able to spend $30 on electricity versus spending $437 on gas, that is a savings of $4,400 a year, which in my mind was just crazy. But the reason that I wanted to make this was because I was in your position at one point watching all of these videos trying to be convinced that it was the right thing to do, and this was ultimately what convinced me. So yeah, those are all the different points that I wanted to talk about in today's video. I feel like I covered a lot of different points, especially with the charging and everything. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Leave me some video suggestions if you have any more questions about the car. With my Tesla referral code, you guys can get 1,500 kilometers of free supercharging if you want to use it. You don't have to, but it's down there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already to see more of the content that I'm uploading. But yeah, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.